plants are responsible for propagation of the insects. So, with that invention, new ventures have been discovered. The simple microscope we can see only two certain extents according to our visualization. Second one is the compound microscope. Compound microscope made the study larger. People began to observe more number of organelles, nucleus, cell wall, cell membrane, etc. With the help of these things, they used to know something about the structure of a cell. Third one is the electronic microscope. So it's point notes. It made us see about the notes inside the cell. If you observe under the electronic microscope, we can see mitochondria, chloroplast, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. So, this is something about the history in brief. With the discovery of microscope, the new era took place in the development of science. Simple microscope made us to visualize small things. Compound, a few more better things. Electronic microscope made us define maximum number of cell organelles and other things. So, suppose this is something about the history of cell in brief. So, we have to study something about the structure of a typical cell. Structure of a typical cell. So, depending upon this, there are two types of cells. One is the animal cell. Second one is the plant cell. First one is the animal cell. Second one is the plant cell. So, in general, the animal cell, this is the structure of any animal cell. It is round in shape and in the center of the cell is present a round body. This body is known as the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, a ball-like structure is found. This is known as the nucleolus. So, extending, connecting cell membrane and plasma cell wall, endoplasmic reticulum is found. Inside the cell, there are some saucer-shaped bodies. These are called the mitochondria, and it contains more number of vacuoles. This is study in brief of a typical animal cell. To observe the plant cell, so the difference between plant cell and animal cell is cell wall is absent in animal cell, whereas in plant cell we find this. Inside in plant cell, we find a central body. This central body is known as the vacuole. This vacuole is larger in size. In case of a plant cell, vacuole is small. In place of a plant cell, vacuole is very large. In animal cell, we find other parts. In plant cell, we find a specialized structure called chloroplast, which give coloration to the plant. It contains a pigment called as the chlorophyll. It is green in color, so the plants are green in color. Next, more animal cell contains more number of Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, small vacuoles, etc. So, Golgi bodies are responsible for secretion. Golgi bodies are responsible for secretion. These are mostly found in the cells of salivary glands. Salivary glands, what do? They secrete saliva. More number of Golgi bodies are present in the salivary glands. And mitochondria. Mitochondria are found both in plant cell and animal cell. So, mitochondria, they are mostly found more in number in the growing parts. What do we say? A plant is growing. One day we say it is to some extent, and later after few days it grows in length. So mitochondria are the powerhouses of a cell. These mitochondria, they give energy and make the cell grow in size. So mitochondria are more in number in the growing regions. And next is that is the difference between difference between animal cell and plant cell. So this is called the cell wall. This is called the cell wall. So cell membrane. This is called the cell membrane. So it is the cell membrane here. It is the cell membrane here. This is called the cell wall. This is called the cell wall. Cell wall is absent in animal cell. Cell wall is present in plant cell. So this cell wall gives definite shape to the cell. So because of this, the cells are given a definite shape. So in ordinary cell, in plant cell we find chloroplast. In animal cell we do not find any chloroplast. Next, vacuoles are larger in size in plant cell and vacuoles are smaller, more in number in animal cell. Next, this is the cell membrane, this is the cell wall, this is the cell membrane. So what is the function of a cell membrane? What is the function of a cell membrane? Because of the cell membrane, because of the cell wall, it maintains the turgidity and it maintains the shape of a cell. So, a typical animal cell is round or oval in shape, and it contains a central body. The central body is known as the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, a ball-like structure is found. This is known as the nucleolus. Small number of vacuoles are present. Here and there, we find the cell organisms moving inside the protoplasm. It is filled, and mitochondria and other things are found floating in the cell, inside the cell. Next, this cell, inside the cell, we contain the cell sap or protoplasm. It is known as the cell sap. These cell sap, it contains cell sap, number 2 water, and some other substances, lipids, proteins, etc. So cell is filled up with a homogeneous fluid. This fluid contains, this is known as the cell sap. It contains 90% of water, protoplasm, other substances, etc. So this is the internal parts of a cell. Suppose if you want to know something about a cell, we have to study different organelles of a cell. So a typical cell of animal cell differ from plant cells in having small vacuoles, plant having a large vacuole, and plant cells have chloroplasts, animal cells do not have chloroplasts. So the cells of both plant and animal are filled with homogeneous substance, and this homogeneous substance contain nutrients and cell secretions, water, etc. Next is the various types of cell organelles. So, the inside particles which are present, the inside units which are present inside the cell are known as the cell organelles. So, various cell organelles are, number 1 is the cell wall, second one is the cell membrane, third one is the mitochondria, fourth one is the chloroplast, fifth one is the Golgi bodies, sixth one is the vacuoles, seventh one is the endoplasmic reticulum. Lysosomes, ribosomes, etc. Next is the lysosomes. Next is the lysosomes. Next is the ribosomes, etc.